Chapter 7, Lesson 4. Main Ideas. Government. Chinese rebels overthrew Mongol rule and started the Ming Dynasty. Economics. At first, Ming emperors encouraged trade and exploration, but they later became less interested in maintaining relations with the outside world. Government. The Qing Dynasty ruled for almost 300 years. It was China's last dynasty. A return to Chinese rule. Build on what you know. The Chinese were a proud people with a long history of great achievements. Many did not like being ruled by the Mongols. Overthrowing the Mongols. Essential question. How was the Ming Dynasty established? After Kublai Khan's death in 1294, Mongol rule slowly weakened. In 1368, a rebel army led by Zhu Xuanzang overthrew the Mongol emperor. The first Ming emperor, Zhu Xuanzang, established the Ming Dynasty and became its first emperor under the name Hongwu. He encouraged Confucianism and brought back the state exams. To help trade, he rebuilt roads and canals. In addition, he rebuilt and extended the Great Wall to improve China's defenses. Hongwu also helped farmers by lowering taxes and providing them with land. In addition to these positive steps, Hongwu began to increase his personal power. He did away with the positions of prime minister and took control of all government offices. He made all decisions himself without consulting his advisors. He also set up a secret service to spy on his people, and he had tens of thousands of people arrested for treason and killed. Hongwu died in 1398. He had chosen his grandson to succeed him. Not everyone supported this decision, however. A struggle for power began. After nearly 5 years of fighting, Young La, one of Hongwu's sons, won victory. He declared himself emperor in 1403. Young La, like his father, was a strong, capable leader. Under his leadership, the Ming Dynasty reached the height of its power. One of his greatest achievements was enlarging the capital city at Beijing. A great complex of palaces and temples, surrounded by 35-foot-high walls, stood at the center of the city. In time, this collection of buildings became known as the Forbidden City because commoners and foreigners were not allowed to enter it. The Forbidden City symbolizes Young La's and China's power and might. Young La wanted not just China, but also the rest of the world to know his greatness. This desire led to another of his great achievements. Trade and overseas voyages. Essential question. How did China's relations with the outside world change under the Ming emperors? In the early 1400s, Young La sent a series of maritime expeditions to other civilizations. Maritime means related to the sea. The Voyages of Zhang He. Young La wanted to extend Chinese influence and win tribute from other countries. Tribute is a payment made by one country to another as a sign of respect. To achieve this goal, Young La built a great fleet of ships for exploration. China completed 7 long voyages between 1405 and 1433. Admiral Zhang He led the fleet. He had as many as 300 ships and nearly 28,000 crew members. Zhang He sailed around Southeast Asia to India, Arabia, and Africa. He returned with tribute that included gold and jewels. China's foreign trade and reputation grew because of his voyages. A change of policy. By the 1430s, Young La and Zhang He had died. Most Confucian officials thought the government gained little from trade and contact with foreigners. They were more concerned with threats of invasion from Central Asia. So the Ming government ended the maritime voyages and banned the building of seagoing ships. China did not remain isolated, however. Chinese merchants expanded trade with the rest of Southeast Asia. In addition, European ships were traveling to China by the early 1500s. The Chinese traded silk, tea, and porcelain for a variety of Western goods, including silver. The last dynasty. Essential question. How was the Qing dynasty established? The Ming Dynasty declined after almost 300 years in power. Weak rulers, high taxes, and poor harvests led to rebellion. To the northeast of China was a region called Manchuria. The people were known as the Manchus. In 1644, the Manchus took advantage of Ming weaknesses and conquered China. They started the Qing Dynasty. Like the Ming rulers, the Manchus allowed some trade, but in general they limited foreign contacts and tried to restrict foreign influence in China. The Qing Dynasty, China's last, endured until 1911. Lesson summary. The Ming Dynasty restored China to a great empire. The Ming Dynasty greatly expanded overland trade and maritime voyages. After the 1430s, China focused on its northern borders. Why it matters now. Today, the Chinese government still tries to limit foreign influence in political and economic affairs. Comparisons across cultures. Chinese and European exploration. Zhang He's voyages versus Columbus's voyages. Zhang He began his voyages in 1405. Columbus began his voyages in 1492. Zhang He's largest ships were more than 400 feet long. Columbus's largest ship, the Santa Maria, was about 100 feet long. One of Zhang He's ships could carry up to 1,000 people. Columbus's first voyage totaled about 90 people on 3 ships. China decided in the 1430s to end its maritime voyages and focus more on its northern borders. The Europeans continued their voyages and established colonies.